Hello everyone! Can you hear me well? If you can, put your thumbs up. Hello, hello, welcome. Welcome, welcome. So lovely to hear all of you to join us. I'm glad everything is working well. That's wonderful. So greetings, lots of love. So yeah, today we're going to talk about the Arcturians. Very exciting. If you can't see me, I don't know why you can't see me. I hope you sort that out, but I hope you can hear me at least. You all can see me, yeah? Can you all see me? Yes? Okay, great. Awesome! Okay, thank you very much. Okay, I will also speak up so that yeah, everyone can hear me well. So, welcome. Before we begin, I would like to invite all of you with a prayer to welcome the positive energy. So let us begin. In this time and in this space, may our hearts and our mind opened to receive all that is aligned with our highest potential. May the divine beings surround us and uplift us to raise our light quotient to 100%. May we be embraced, surrounded, and protected. And so be it. So exciting to be here. And I'm excited to finally share with you again with the Arcturians. The reason why is because I know that many who have been asking about the Arcturians course, but at the same time, I've been working on upgrading the course and also researching or finding out how to design the course in a way so that it will be a lot more beneficial, that you can also see the results itself at the end. So you will understand a lot more as we progress. I'll also share my story about how I come into contact with the Arcturians and why we're working with them and things like that. I also hope to hear from you some of your questions. I welcome that, and we'll have time to answer. And we'll also have a point where we'll do an energy work. So we invite the Arcturians to come forth later to offer us some transmissions. So I'm also looking forward to that. I never know what's going to happen, so we'll see what comes through. So I've been working with the Arcturians for almost 20 years now. So it's been a very long time. And some people have asked me, like, have you worked with other beings? Have you worked with, other Star Nation beings? Maybe you may not know. Actually, the first workshop that I conducted was connecting with the Sarians instead of the Arcturians. It was called the Temese. That was level 1, and we went into level 2, which is the Sirius Sun. So it's a very long time ago, but I connected with the Arcturians first, which is very exciting. I want to share with you that's part of the story. So give me a moment while I bring that up. Okay. So I hope you all can see the slides. Okay. So in 2003 or 2004, I remember it was Judy from New Zealand. She came to Singapore and she conducted a workshop. She was in Singapore to conduct a workshop called channeling with your spiritual guide. And if you look at the map on Singapore, if you've never been to Singapore, it was Hell and Boat Key in this area. I put down a mark of where it was. It was a very interesting story because I was still in college that time. I was in arts college, and I wasn't doing very well in terms of our financial status in my family. It was a little bit challenging, and I was invited by a friend to attend a talk by Judy, and it was the first talk that I ever attended in my life of any sort. So I went, and it was a room that was filled with probably about 40 people at that time. And when Judy came in the room, I could feel this aura of light. It was just exuberating from her being, and was mesmerized by that energy. But I have no idea what that all meant at that time. So she spoke the light language, and I had a lot of involuntary reaction towards the light language that when she was speaking. And at the end of the talk, I had the opportunity to speak with her. And so when she held my hand and she looked into my eyes and she said, "Do you know that you are an indigo child?" And then I looked at her blankly for a few moments, and then she said, "Do you know what does indigo child means?" And I was like, "No." And it's like, okay, well, see if you could come this weekend. I think it was either Thursday. It was Thursday. It might be a Thursday. I can't remember. It was a talk. And then the weekend was a 2-day workshop. So I went back home, and I went back to my room, and was fiddling with my computer, and my mom came to my room, and she asked me how was the talk. And I was like, oh, it was very interesting. You know, it just happened and that happened, but I didn't have the vocabulary to explain to her, because my mom speaks Mandarin, and at that time my Mandarin wasn't that good in this spiritual terminology, so to speak. Yeah, but conversation, that's fine, but spiritual terminology, I have no words for it, so I no way to translate into what I've experienced to my mom. So something strange happened before she left my room. She paused, and then she turned around and she looked at me and she asked me if I needed money. And I was like, And I was like, no. And then so when she was about to leave the room again, something kind of like lights up in my head, and I was like, ask her. So I stopped my mom and I asked her, I said, yes. And then she said, what do you need and why do you need it for? I said, oh, I wanted to attend this course. I don't know what it is about, but I'm attracted to it. And she asked me a very important question that till today I feel it deeply in my heart, which is this what you really want? So that question is also very rare, because I don't hear her speaking to me in this way. But somehow at that moment when she asked me this question, is this something that you want? And I paused for a moment. It gave me that space to check in to myself. And then I gave a very clear affirmation, yes, this is what I want. Then she said, okay, then I'll support you to go for it. So I went to the weekend course. It was starting at 9, and I arrived at 8. I was very, very excited. Arrived about 8, and I was hanging around Boat Key area, and it was this river, and I was excited. And then when I entered into the workshop venue, and Judy was there, and she looked at me and she smiled, almost expecting me to be there already. So during the 2 days, I connected with my guide, which you can see on the left-hand side of the screen, which is Hermes, also known as Thoth in Egypt. But it came to me as Hermes, and just Hermes, Hermes. And I didn't even know who Hermes was that time. It was just appearing in letters, spelling one letter at a time. And then Hermes said to me that we have lots of work to do. And I was like, what? Because I was still, studying, and I was like, what do you mean there's a lot of work to do? I'm really very busy. I have a lot of assignments to submit, and I have a lot of stuff to do. And also I'm doing my own meditation, and what does that mean? What does it mean by we're going to have a lot of work to do? So I didn't receive any answer about that. However, in that 2 days, besides connecting with Hermes, I also connected with the Arcturians. So that's how I got introduced to the Arcturians. It wasn't part of the course design of what Judy was presenting that time during the weekend. She just felt like the Arcturians came and they wanted to connect with us. I was like, oh, wow, okay. So when I connected with the Arcturians in the workshop space, it was filled with just brilliancy of light. It's 3 beams of light, and they were filled with so much love. And I felt like, I know this feeling, and I know them. It's almost like this sense of familiarity that I know them. And then it felt really, really cold when I connected with the Arcturians. But when I connected with Hermes, my guide, it was my master guide. I was feeling really, really hot. So I was having 2 temperatures extreme in my body at the same time. It was very uncomfortable. The heat was on my spine and the coldness was on my hands. So I was constantly checking on the air conditioning, the draft. Is it like blowing against me, or is something, and I tried to change seats and stuff, but it wasn't helping. And I was shivering, shaking, my body was shaking at the same time, because we'd done a lot of preparation in order to get into that space, or get into that state of vibration, so to speak, to tune into that dimension or that world in order to connect. So my body was infused with high frequency, which it hasn't felt for a very long time. So it was having all kinds of involuntary reaction, and light language also came forth during the workshop itself. So it was 3 bonuses. One was connecting with my master guide, the other was with the Arcturians, and the third was the light language. It all came within the 2 days. Having said that, while I was connecting with my master guide and then with the Arcturians at the same time, I felt this electrical pulsation. So I was feeling really, really cold, and my hands was tingling non-stop at the tip of my fingers. And it's one of the energy signature. We call like energy signature. When you connect with a master, we connect with a being or something. Every being, every master, they have their own energy signature. It's like you recognize the voice of your friends. You could recognize someone else's footsteps and all. You know who it is. So the beings each have their own energy signature. So when I connected with my team, the Arcturians, I was informed of their energy signature, and I learned in time to recognize them again and again and again, so that every time I connect with my team, this is the energy signature that comes through. It's not something that I'm able to generate by myself, but is induced through my system when the connection is established. So I developed that recognition of the energy signature, and I've never seen the Arcturian's face before. So it's always just these 3 beams of light, and they can come really close. And I eventually developed ways to merge my consciousness with them so that I can learn a lot more faster. So since then, I've been learning from them in 2003, 2004, and every day in that time, I was meditating and asking them questions. So I'm going to come back to me for a while. I asked them lots of questions, like when I have a thought, where does it go to? Like how many chakras do we have, and why we talk about DNA activation? Why is this necessary? Interestingly, I was also at the age of in Singapore going to the army, which is mandatory. We have to go to the army for it was 2.5 years. So I was connecting with my team every day while I was in camp and meditating and then asking them questions and taking out notes. It wasn't iPhone era, it wasn't, those smartphones era. So it was a lot of notebook and notepad. And it was really helpful. I could draw, the images that they were giving me. They were teaching me using pyramids and symbols and everything. But my take on this is always to test it again and again and again to see if it really works, to see what was the effect itself and why it works, why it doesn't work, or like if I do it this way, what happens? If I do another way, what happens? So a lot of experimentation is part of my approach, like a researcher. Same time, I wanted to make sure what I'm receiving is not my imagination, so to speak, right? So after connecting with the Arcturians, I was still having some kind of question, like, is this real? Because it felt real and I'm experiencing all these changes, but at the same time, is it real? Because as an aspect of me, a part of me still wonders, right? So I requested my mom to be my guinea pig, to be a receiver for a session. So I said, okay, because she has no idea what's going on, right? So I said to her, like, could you lie down? I went to this course, right, which you have, very generously sponsored for me to go. So I've learned this. Could you tell me how you feel? So she lay down, and then I invited the Arcturians to come, and then started to connect with her. And then I said, well, when you start feeling something, let me know. And then she started describing, oh, I'm feeling something on my fingertips. I'm feeling something like moving in my abdominal area. And I was like, okay, because I didn't tell her what to expect, what kind of common energetic symptoms that you experience when you connect with the Arcturians. So she was giving me all the signs that, the Arcturians are working with on her. So that was very exciting. I was like, I'm not crazy. I'm this is working. But still, my mom could be just supporting me, right? Like saying something that encourages me to go on. So yes, I get one thumbs up, and then I started calling my friends, and I said, well, can I try on you too? So my friends came. We tried at a cafe where it's a kind of like a noisy place. And then I put my hands, I placed my hands underneath the table because I didn't want it to be too obvious. Because my hands were moving quite a lot when I first connect with the Arcturians, so they tend to shift and move. So I didn't want it to be too obvious. So I kind of like hide my hands underneath the table, and then I was like connecting with the Arcturians, and my head will like move. It will like do yes, like no. It will tilt, So I get yes and no from there, and I also get yes and no from my hands. Like if it tingles and twitches on my right hand side, it's a yes. If it's on the left, it's no. So I kind of use that to help me to determine. Sometimes it gives like yes and no, like which one is it? It's like in a maybe kind of mood. So I connected with the Arcturians. I placed my hands underneath the table, and I said, could you connect with my friend so and so? And then I said, what do you feel? and then he would say like, oh, I'm feeling this. I was like, oh, it's the same energy signature. It's the same energetic, symptoms that you're connecting with them. So I was like, oh, exciting. Okay, so another thumbs up. So that works too. So I tried on many people, and then they get similar response. They get similar sensations. When the Arcturians are being invited, and when the energies is being connecting with permission with the receiver. So I begin to have more confidence with working with the Arcturians, and because they were also sharing with me so many different things. At the same time, with Hermes, my guide, he was also sharing with me why we're connecting with the Arcturians and with other star beings, so that I can wrap my mind around it. I grew up in a Buddhist environment, so I'm very connected with Kuan Yin, had strong affinity with the goddess Kuan Yin, or to Shakyamuni Buddha or other ascended masters too. But generally, I connect deeply with Kuan Yin. So I'm like trying to figure out like, okay, where this Arcturians fit in, you know? Is it part of the family? Is it a different family? Is it like, is it the angels department or something, you know? So I wasn't clear with them, and my mind is trying to fit them into categories, you know, which they don't do that. They don't belong in any categories or so. So I learned over time to just understand them, that they are different states of consciousness, they are different levels of consciousness, and they live in different worlds of frequencies. But we have the ability to tap in, to tune in, and to connect with them. Then there was another incident that was, I would say, a blessing, that I had the opportunity to meet a Rinpoche. So it was in Singapore too. A friend was introducing me to this Rinpoche to meet him. Let me see. How do I share it again? The screen. So I met this Rinpoche in Singapore. It was a private visit, and he speaks Mandarin. He's not Tibetan. He's not native Tibetan, so he speaks Mandarin, and he specializes in reciting the 6-syllabus mantra, which is Om Mani Padme Hum. So he focuses only on reciting Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. So when I met him at his private residence, my friend brought me, and he was sitting on his chair, and we were on the floor. So I looked at him, and he looked at me, and then he said, "You have triangle friends." And I was like, because I didn't tell him anything. I didn't say anything to him. So he's like, "You have triangle friends, and they come from this part of the sky." And he pointed out the window on his right-hand side, and he said, "They come from this part of the sky." And then he said that you don't need to look for them. They will look for you. But you need to build your body like a radio antenna. So he said to me, like, your body is like a radio antenna. You need to learn how to tune develop the build your radio antenna, so that your signal is clear, and they will then look for you. So you don't have to search for them. If your antenna is built and all that, they will look for you. So I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Again, another thumbs up that I'm not crazy, right? So I'm connecting with the Arcturians, and that, you know, he is able to see it without me telling him. And indeed, the Arcturians geometry in terms of a representation are triangles. So that's why their symbols are in triangular formation. And so since then, I've began to ask the Arcturians, like, what can we do to, how can we support ourselves to heal? And what is healing, you know, in that sense? And how can we support others to heal too? Can everybody connect with you? So the Arcturians started to download to me all kinds of information. So what I do is that I will type. Usually I open up my Word document, and I'll just close my eyes and connect with the team. And then when I'm in a very deep state, I will just go away so that they take over, and then they will start moving my fingers and they will type. So as they type, I will see images, sometimes I see paragraphs, and they do it very, very fast. So within a very short amount of time, I will have many pages of information, and then I'll have to reread again what came through. So they created the manual. So they are the one who created the Arcturians manual, all the steps, what to visualize, what to say, you know, how to work on your light bodies, and how to work on the chakras and things like that. So I tested them on many people, and I started to share and create opportunity for people to connect with the Arcturians. But I also notice and realize a challenge that has been consistent regardless of where I run this course, which is the foundation of many participants are missing. And the foundations of what? The foundations of meditation is lacking there. The ability to pay attention for a prolonged period of time, or even visualization skills or sensitivity and things like that. So I didn't notice that at first because it didn't occur to me that these foundations were necessary. But looking back, I realized that I've done a lot of my foundational work because prior to connecting with the Arcturians, I was trained in mind disciplinary, especially in meditation, and I do long meditation, and I seek to have quality meditation too. The ability to pay attention for like prolonged period of time, to have visualization skills, to be able to tell the difference between what passive and active information is coming in or out, which chakras I'm using, and how to work with vital energy or chi in general. So these kind of skills that I've developed over time form the foundation that was necessary for me to be connected with the Arcturians and also able to utilize the techniques that they use to a certain degree of success, which many participants find it challenging at times if they don't have the foundation. So because of this, I've thought about it for a long time about how to change or upgrade the course so that it will include the training for the foundation part. Because if we don't feel the connection as much or as deeply, or we're not getting the information, or we're not seeing the results, it's very easy to lose confidence, and it's also easy to doubt ourselves whether it's working or not, whether it's real or not, and things like that. But usually it is because we don't have the foundation, the proper land, that we need to prepare the land in order to sow the seeds and let it germinate and grow. So we need to have like good foundation. With it, then whatever modalities that we learn, it becomes so much more easier because the application, the fundamental skills are essentially the same. Yeah. So once we have that, it's clear, then it makes it your modalities, whatever that you have learned, automatically gets upgraded, so to speak, because now you know how to utilize them with greater clarity. So that's why I've been spending time to develop the course and upgrade that. So besides the meeting the Rinpoche and also testing on my friends and my mom and many others, I also learned a lot from all of you for feedbacks, people who have connected with the Arcturians, who have gone to the levels, and what are the challenges and things like that. So the past 3 years, I think, was it Celea that we have not run the Arcturians course for maybe 3-4 years? I think we have not run it for quite 3 years. Yeah, for quite, maybe London is a different time. But yeah, Singapore, I think we have not run it for 3 years now. In Japan, I've been running that because we've been upgrading the course quite, but it wasn't very completely stable yet. But now is stable in terms of how I see it to be and I want it to be. So I'm ready to release the English version for it. So let's talk a little bit more about the Arcturians. I'm sure you want to hear more about them. So here we have Alekia. So Alekia, it means hello in Arcturian language. Again, that is filtered through my system, which interprets the energy of greeting in this form, Alekia. So if you connect with the Arcturians, you can say Alekia to them. And it also means heart to heart we greet. Yeah, heart to heart we greet. So who are the Arcturians? The Arcturians are from the fourth brightest star in the night sky, called Arcturus. They are identical in terms of looks, appearance. If you're wondering, they look all the same. So it doesn't mean like my team is more handsome than yours and more prettier than yours, or taller or shorter. Though they have shorter Arcturians, but they are more like a children type. Well, maybe type is not the right word, but they are like children, version of Arcturians, and they work very well with children, I must say. Little kids, humans, they do see them, and I found them to be very, very supportive and very nurturing to young children. So the young, so to speak, Arcturians, they connect with infants, with toddlers, with young kids very well. And then the adult Arcturians, they are probably about 140 to 100 centimeters. I'm not sure about in American measurement, but about 1.4 to 1.6 meters height, usually about there. The Andromedans are very, very tall. They can go off the roof, 3 meters and above. The Arcturians are much more in a shorter stature. They are collective in terms of they work together in collective. They do not work individually, separately, as an individual. They always work collectively. They don't speak through their mouth because they don't really have a mouth. So they communicate through thoughts, and they don't transfer the thoughts is being shared instantly. It's kind of like a quantum entanglement where thoughts are known instantaneously. So if you manage to merge with their consciousness, what they think is what you know is what they know. So it's kind of shared in that sense. But it does take quite a bit of training in order for that state to be established, that connection to be established and to be stable. In level 1, we don't connect with the Arcturians because the foundation is needing time, but we do work with the Arcturus frequency to clear the chakras, to build the light bodies, training on various aspects before we get ready in level 2 to connect with the Arcturians. Then they have the Arcturians technology, which this is what I'm always very excited about. The symbol is one of technology which does non-local healing, or some people call it remote healing, quantum healing. It transcends space-time, so it doesn't matter. You might be wanting to work on an issue that is 5 years ago or 5 years in the future or something like that. It collapses space-time. But of course, the degree of the effectiveness also depends on the user, the practitioner themselves, because our own perception can limit the manifestation of what we are doing. So don't just think that when I use something or when I say a mantra, it will work exactly what has been intended. We still is part of the equation, and how we perceive the world and the universe plays a role in affecting the result of our intention. So our perception is very important. Our state of consciousness is important. Therefore, the Arcturians course includes programs for personal development. One of the things that I've also noticed that's missing in a lot of healing modalities is personal development. What does it mean is that a lot is focused on just healing, which is trying to solve a problem, and there are not much techniques to help the practitioner to upgrade themselves. If we don't upgrade ourselves, we will reach a plateau, a point where we feel like our healing modalities cannot go further. It's because our personal development is not there. So there are technologies, so to speak, in meditation. You can call them technology, quantum technologies or programs that can help an individual through spiritual practice to upgrade themselves. So in order to upgrade, we need to, besides raising our light quotient, which is the amount of light in our body, we also need to build our light quotient. We need to upgrade our chakras or clean out the blockages within our chakras, so that when we meditate and when we connect, we have lesser interferences, we have lesser negative influences. Sometimes we get affected by eclipses, we get affected by the collective negative energies of fears, traumas, negative thoughts, anger, and so on and so forth. We are magnetized by what's happening in the world too much, to the extent that it brings us down, and we cannot uplift ourselves and others. So we need to develop a stronger etheric body, or our etheric nervous system, upgrade our light bodies, and we need to understand what light bodies are too, because they are there, and if we know, then we can better work with them. So the Arcturians technology helps to, it's like a series of programs that, when working with the Arcturians in level 2, can help us to upgrade ourselves. So let me just get some water. So there are many exciting things about the technology, and one of it that I said earlier was the symbol that can do the non-local healing and all. And the other is also personal development, which we have the tetrahedron. We'll learn about the tetrahedron, how to work with it, and how to strengthen our heart chakra, because it's one of the most hardworking chakra, I must say, of the entire body. And we're working with the rainbow light healing. It's another sub technique itself within the level 1 course, which we use it to nourish our vital body, because as we age and all, and through our lifestyle, our negative thoughts and habits, we leak energy, and it makes us tired. It makes us tired easily. So we need to learn how to replenish or regenerate our energy bodies, so that our organs will become more healthier and have more energy to repair if anything that's needed. So the rainbow light healing technique is also a part of the course. Then in there are also step-by-steps on how to do the session. If you want to work on someone, whether it's on yourself or for someone else, the practice are also shown on how to do that. Of course, for the symbol to work itself, we do need to receive transmissions like an attunement. It's like tuning your antenna to a particular wavelength. Because if you don't know the frequency wavelength of Arcturians per se, you don't know that you're connected with them. You may be connecting with something else. So in the beginning of my 2 years of connection with the Arcturians, I deliberately chose not to connect with any other beings except the Arcturians, because I wanted to be very clear with their energy signature, and I only choose to work with them for 2 years to be very, very clear with their energy signature. So working with them for 2 years, and then understanding their thought process. So all of the way the course is being taught and the techniques itself are quite logical, rational, and in terms of the steps. So the steps when they give is like an engineer. It's like telling you step 1, step 2, step 3. This is what you do. This is what you do. And then the quantum aspect is when the program is activated, when the technology is being switched on. Like you will use a symbol, and then the quantum part is been done by itself. The part where we need to be involved is to get out of the way, so to speak, to allow things to happen in a way that the recipient source energy or your source energy can flow through without the limitations of our ego. Yeah. So the Arcturians technology is a long list, and in level 2 we have a large collection of them too. I call it the collection of goodies, where we can use maybe for upgrading your beauty, even things like that. We can create some fun programs with them. So why do they make contact with human beings? They connect with human beings. Let me bring this down. They connect with human beings because there are many other great masters that are also have called for star beings to come and connect with us. You can see the Arcturians as a form of celestial beings or stellar beings. Maybe you might want to call them that way. It doesn't matter. But something for you to relate that they are not of this world. They are not of this world. The human world, the human dimension is a very narrow spectrum of vibration. Just like any other closer world, say the animal kingdom, or some people may be agreeing with the concept of the demonic world or the angelic world, or the world of spirits, ghosts and all. They are much closer to our range of where we are. That means we share this space, we share this space, but we do not necessarily crisscross to see each other. I mean, human beings don't even necessarily see each other. It's like, oh, I didn't see you, like I just walked past you. So let alone the invisible, so to speak, to our eyes. But the higher dimensional beings or the higher frequency beings are able to perceive us more often than the lower perceiving the higher. So it's more difficult for us to pierce through the veils of the higher dimension, but it's easier for the higher dimension to see us. Just like we can see from far that, oh, there is a butterfly flying, or there is an ant crawling, because we can see. But the ant or the butterfly may not know that we're there, because we can see them from very, very far distance, for example. So similarly, these beings have heightened senses, whether it's their ears, their eyes, their perceptions of their world is much more vast, and therefore their understanding of the truth of the universe is also deeper. So that equates to them being able to say, prevent or reduce damage, pain, or increase healing, accelerating healing and stuff like that. Because in their world, perhaps they may not have pain, or they may not have injuries as frequent, as often, as fragile as the human, animal, plant kingdom world experience. So with that, their technology, because having those programs are able to then say transcend the time and the time that we need as human beings to heal. That means they can accelerate that, because they don't completely run on the same rhythm and the same pace of time as the human world, so to speak. So the Arcturians can live up to like 400 years old in terms of human time, but in their time, it could be much longer, or it might be much faster. To them, maybe a year equates to our 10 years. So it could be different way of perception of time. But they live about 400 years or so of age, if we count in human years. So they know a lot. They know a lot about the crystals too. So they have huge knowledge about the crystals. Basically, all the database of the minerals on Earth is within their catalog. So when in level 2, when we work with the crystals, they're able to repair them, which is very interesting, because when the crystal is repaired, rainbows usually appear in the crystal itself. So that's quite fascinating. Sometimes certain crystals might grow too, which is unheard of, because once mineral is out of the earth, it stops growing. But it has happened before. So connecting with the Arcturus vibration, in level 1, helps us to become familiar with how to work with this high frequency. Because if our body is not upgraded, it's not tuned, then we may feel hot. Generally, if people are working with high frequencies and their body is not clear, the body tends to heat up quite a lot. It could be two reasons. One is the blockages within the body, or the Kundalini itself is awakening. But more or less, most of the time is because it's blocked. It's like a chimney that is not clean. It's choked. So heat cannot rise up to escape from the top. So we need to clear our energy systems quite frequently, because negative thoughts, negative speech, actions, emotions are the one that clogs up our central light column very easily every day. So if we do regular maintenance and cleaning, we'll be able to have better clarity of our mind and more stable emotional state to handle our daily activities. Yeah. So that's so far what the Arcturians can do in terms of their technology itself. But there are also some other interesting thing about the Arcturians that I can further share with you. Let me open this up again. Okay, so you can call them galactic quantum healers. They can be your teachers, your guides, your staff, friends, and family. Some people, when they connect with the Arcturians, they feel like they're family, like they know you, you know them. It's most of the time is due to past life, because everyone is attracted to Arcturus or Arcturians has past life connections with them. It's either you could be an Arcturian before, or you have some affinity or some connection with them. But regardless, here now you are a human being, so welcome back to Earth, and we are going to reconnect to raise our consciousness. It's perfectly fine being human. In fact, it is a privilege to be a human being, because it gives us a lot of opportunity to raise our consciousness much higher than where we came from. So the Arcturians live up to at least a few hundred years old. They are excellent crystal programmers, like I shared earlier. They know a lot about the DNA, chakras, and light bodies. I used to run a short course on also 7-step DNA activation. They're quite intense. I haven't done it for a while now. But DNA activation is also possible when we go more into level 2, because it's a little more complex stuff. Transforming fear into courage is one of the fundamental approach of their work. Because a lot of fear is present in the human world, and a lot of leakage from the base chakra. So it's not very good for our gut, and it's not very good for our sacral, our lower back, everything around that zone. So transforming their fear into courage is very necessary. Also releasing emotional pain into returning to ourself and to love. I think there's a lot of healing needed due to past life traumas. A lot of healing is necessary. However, sometimes when we go through healing, we might have certain visions in our inner mind's eye, and seeing this vision doesn't necessarily mean that you need to understand or process them. It might surface up just because it's passing through like your window. It's like passing through your window, and it's gone. It's being released. So once it's gone, it's out of your system. You don't need to chase after it anymore, unless you have a very strong, sense of curiosity and it hasn't resolved. Then probably there's still remnants within your energy field, but usually we don't need to get in touch with them unless they keep coming back to you. The Arcturians always work as a team, like I said, or a larger collective. They look identical to each other, so we don't need to compare like how yours look like. If your Arcturians appear different, then you may not be connecting with the Arcturians. That's one potential. They tend to appear as just beams of light or just energy fields, because I think if they reveal themselves completely, we might say, no, I don't want to connect with them, because they look like, I don't know, it's different from us, from what we imagined it to be. But no judgment on how they look like, on how we look like. They are here also to help us to break our ego illusion, because without that, we are very much trapped inside this world, and we will always come back to this world if we're stuck with this me, the self, and I'm better, and all that. So yeah, transcending that aspect. So why we connect with the Arcturians? Because their frequency is very close to ours. Their technology rather is very applicable to what we need in terms of chakra work, light bodies work. They're very simple, they're very logical, rational in their approach. Their frequency is very high, so high in the sense that it's cold. Usually it's cold, it's not hot. And then they accelerate in spiritual awakening, so it speeds things up in your life. So you feel like your life has been in a stagnant stage. Sometimes connecting with the Arcturians can spin it upside down, which what happened to me. Maybe uncomfortable at the beginning, but you can call it a cleaning crisis. And then after that, you're like, voila, bright and radiant and all. Support in clearing chakras and energy bodies is a very useful tool. I've seen a lot of great results with that. You're able to apply the techniques on others. So it's not something that's difficult, but you do need to practice for sure on your own. You need to develop that and take time into it. it's kind of like a fast track. It's not the final stage, because after Arcturus, you could also go somewhere else. You could go to Sirius to get your PhD if you graduate from Earth, and you can also go to other star systems, or if you want to go further. If you came from the stars, I wouldn't recommend you to go back to the stars, because then you're going to come back down again at some point. So obviously there was no graduation from when you were star being, so that's why we kind of come down again. So we want to transcend beyond that, but we can utilize the technologies, the support from the star beings, angels, masters and all, to support us so that we can transcend beyond. Yeah, we can transcend beyond. Light bodies activation is meaning to build the amount of light in our body so that it kind of reaches a critical amount, quantity, and then it explodes into light. So it forms a light body. So it's a process where it takes time to develop, but it will improve. There are technologies in level 2 that actually supports that on a long-term basis, where you can request from your team to help work on that. And you'll see results usually within, usually from the 6 months, 9 months onwards. You will start to see changes in your energy vital level when you work on that. Yeah, so the Arcturians have been invited or requested by other beings, other masters, to come forth and support us. And also, why the Arcturians are helping us is because in the human world, we are in a duality kind of state. So we fluctuate, our emotions fluctuate, and we get hurt, we get injuries, and there's karma, which is quite strong on us too. The Arcturians have their own karma too, but as human beings, there's a lot of fluctuations, a lot of positive, negative, and everything in between. So because of this contrast, the Arcturians are able to help us. And by helping us, we also are offering our appreciation and thanks to them. And when we offer this appreciation and thanks to them, it's like a blessing to them. So they also receive the blessings from us, and they will rise up higher. When they are at such a wonderful space, world where there's not much worries or not much negative thoughts at all, there isn't much contrast for them, opportunities for them to raise their consciousness higher. So in order for them to raise their consciousness higher, they need to be provided with opportunities to help others who needs help. So we are kind of like in a win-win situation whereby we need help, and they also will benefit by helping us. So it's not a one-way support. Some people might think like, well, why? What's it for them? Why the Arcturians are helping us? So of course, they're helping us also because, like I said, we are appreciative to them, and our appreciation energy bless them, and they raise their consciousness because of our blessing through our appreciation. So yeah, but one of the purpose or reason that I feel is really nice and really wonderful to work with the Arcturians is not just one way, but also both ways. So I hope that so far it's been interesting for you in terms of what I'm sharing with the Arcturians. So what will be I'll be taking questions soon, and also sharing some transmission work with the Arcturians, as I promised. What is the ultimate goal? Okay, what is the ultimate goal here? It's not about healing. Healing is the byproduct of the journey, because we have separation consciousness. Our senses are the proof of that. We listen, see, smell, taste, touch separately, even though we think that they are interchanging, yes, but their functions currently are separate. That means you don't see with your ears, or you don't taste with your nose, or you don't smell with your eyes. Some people do, but those are very rare. When we unify all of these, our light bodies get activated, and we transcend beyond duality. and we go into unity. But unity is not the final stage. Still, it's a progress. So healing is only a progression towards higher states of consciousness, and it is a natural path where we will encounter as we seek the spiritual path. We will realize and we'll become aware of our own negative thoughts and emotions. Like we don't need someone else to tell us that, hey, you have negative thoughts. We know ourselves, we have negative thoughts, or we have negative emotions, or we have negative habits and stuff like that. We know ourselves. The problem is that we may not have the discipline to overcome them, or the know-how, the knowledge to transcend them, to transform them. So we need some kind of tools, support, reminders, someone to help us along the way to eventually transcend all our challenges which are caused by ourselves, our ignorance, so to speak. So the ultimate goal is always, going beyond and beyond and beyond. But in the journey of it, we'll discover what we need to heal. Yeah. So what are the challenges itself? Just now I just mentioned a few keywords. So we have negative habits, fear and unworthiness. We have impatience and anger, sloth and torpor, ego, which has the arrogance, I know it all, illusionary thoughts and confusion. This is very, very common and very big in the spiritual community, so to speak, because a lot of times, how can we tell the difference between something that I'm really connected to versus something of my imagination that I've created in my mind, so to speak? Am I really seeing something, or is this a part of my imagination? Yeah. How can I tell the difference, right? We need to be able to discern. We need to have the skills to be able to discern, and the training for that to discern. So we need to work on our development, our practice, and our develop courage and trust. And overcoming impatience and anger, is the remedy is actually compassion and kindness. Without compassion, impatience will rise and anger will arise. So to counter that, we need to activate practice compassion. Yes, is absolutely necessary and very powerful. And laziness, sloth, is so apparent now. It's hard to get people to move necessarily, and also not consistency, right? We're not consistent with our practice. We sometimes do it, sometimes we don't, and so we're not seeing the result itself. So it's very important to have consistency. The ego. We need to work on selflessness. Am I doing it for myself? Am I learning this for myself, or am I learning this because I want to help more people? If your intention is to help more people, then I'll say to you that your success rate is so much more higher. Ultimately, if it's for self, the self, because the ego is still work in progress, so it will not give you the discipline as needed. But if it is for someone else, if your attention, your kindness, your love is for someone else, and you care for someone else deeply, you care for the world deeply, you tend to persevere more. You tend to be able to put in your attention, your devotion, your commitment, because your love and your compassion is great. Yeah, and you want to help as many people as possible, so you will persevere. Yeah. So these are some of the also common challenges that I've noticed. Whether it's with myself or with students who have come on the course over this almost 2 decades now. So it's a very, very common. And to overcome, really, we need a lot of reminders. Yeah, a lot of encouragement. So that comes to, what is the average human attention span? So it's very interesting, I find, has decreased. Just take this as a pinch of salt, okay? Like from 12 seconds to 8.25 seconds in the last 2 decades. Oh my goodness. So goldfish has average attention span of 9 seconds, 1 second more than human beings. And we always use our mobile phone. The funny thing is, it's written here, human attention span is shorter than that of a squirrel. I find it so cute. So what this really means here as a general saying is that it's very hard for people today to basically pay attention for a prolonged period of time. So how can then we be successful in meditation? Almost impossible. How can we then, clear the negative thoughts? Multitasking is is one of the, after reading many different reports, it comes up to this common discovery here. Multitasking reduces attention span by up to 40%. So if you're multitasking at the same time, like when you're watching, listening to this presentation, you're doing something else at the same time, you probably would have lost some information. And of course, by now, your brain would be very tired because I would have lost you at the beginning after 8 seconds or so. So it's important for us to develop that skill, that resiliency, and be able to pay attention for a prolonged period of time so that we can develop focus. And it is that focus that brings us into stillness, okay? Just again, it is that ability to stay focused and concentrate that will bring us into a state of stillness. So without that ability to stay focused and prolong that, you cannot enter into stillness, which is a very, very important quality that will help us to raise our consciousness. Stillness is a necessary skill for us to raise our consciousness. Yeah. If not, then you will always depend on stimulation to get you into a certain zone. But without that stimulation, you can't get into that zone. Then it's not your true achievement. It's dependent on something else. So if you're not dependent on anything else but accept your own skill without any stimulation to get into stillness, and you can do that, then you will not lose this ability to get into your own zone, right? So, from the generations, we can see that our baby boomers and Generation X itself, we have longer attention span. Of course, this is not 100% accurate in that sense because different age of that range of years, generation itself, you have longer and shorter attention span also because each person is different. And also what you like to pay attention to, matters, because if you like certain subject itself, you tend to be able to pay attention for a longer period of time versus, boring things. So that also matters. But in generally, is getting more challenging for us to pay attention for a longer period of time. So that's why I created this 21 days mind disciplinary training. In there, it is a prerequisite before the main course. It's very, very important. It helps to train to build foundation and of course commitment, because you do need to submit your exercise, your practice every day to the community. I will actually take a look at them, but I may not comment on everybody because it may be too much, but I will look at everyone's post for sure. And it trains you to be consistent. Every day you do the meditation for a certain amount of time. It helps develop creativity and your also ability to discern. Yeah. So it helps develop a memory because there'll be exercises that will help on that. Prolonged attention span, focus, and visualization skills. This is highly, highly important because it's training your third eye. Contemplation skills, it helps you to connect with the abstract aspect of you. So it helps you connect with the higher dimensional consciousness of you. So it helps you retrieve insights, intuition. So that part is necessary because it becomes the foundation for you when you're going to connect with your team in level 2. You need to learn how to communicate with them and get into a zone to do that properly. Passive active meditation is a form of telling the difference between I'm now projecting my thoughts versus I'm now receiving it from somewhere else and it doesn't come from me. So to be able to tell the difference of these two is also necessary, because when you connect and you say you work on someone, you see a vision, or you see an organ, or you see the cell, or you feel something, is it coming from you because you have this problem, or is for you, or is it for that person, or is that person's body giving you the information, or is it you projecting that information into the session because you read something from a book 10 minutes ago, or yesterday, things like that. So how to differentiate this information is also necessary, because otherwise you don't know what's going on, you don't know where's it coming from, who is it for, and as you go blindly, as time passes, you don't know why it works and why it doesn't. So one of the very important skill to have too is the ability to ask questions, to ask. Always tune in, check in, ask, why is this happening? How can you explain to me? Help me understand, so that you learn as you go along the way. You're open, but at the same time, you're observant. And then at the same time, you're also asking for understanding, asking for you, so that you can grow your knowledge. So I learn a lot from the Arcturians and from intuitions and insights when I talk to the body, my recipient. And when I work with my team, I ask them questions all the time, like, why am I coming here now, or this part of the body, why my hands are here, why is it the right hand instead of the left hand, why is it taking this amount of time versus I did the same thing for another person, it's a different time duration, why is that so? So I'm not in a frustration mood when I'm asking this question. I'm in a very relaxed, very curious, open mood when I'm asking these questions. And when I pay attention and be calm and stay in a coherence, I will receive the answer. It will come to me in various different ways, and it will come to you in various different ways through your own senses of which one that is more developed for you. It will come through that aspect. So this 21 days mind discovery is essential and necessary, a prerequisite for us to pick up, on working with the symbols and stuff like that. So we do have to finish the 21 days, then it will come into the main course. The main course of the Arcturians, where you will then receive the attunement, you go through all the videos, modules, and then you will be posting, of course, your sharings, your experiences, your questions, and we'll also have some form of course exam, so that you tell me what you experience with the questions that I present to you, so I know where you are, and that I can help you and support you further. Yeah. So that's the design at this point for the Arcturians course itself. I'm going to take questions now. I'm sure you have some. I won't take too long and try to answer them, and then we can go into the transmission work. Okay. Okay, there's a question that someone asked here. Why do Arcturians work in teams? It's a very interesting question, very good question. The reason why is because when they work in a team, especially three, they usually are in a team of three, they form a triangular coordinate, so to speak, because they are not necessarily here when they work with us. They could be projecting through quantum entanglement, and transmitting to us this frequency itself, but they need a coordinate. So when they work as a team, as a trial, it's like a weather balloon. When you have three coordinates, you can pinpoint more accurately in space-time where we are, because we are in space-time. So they help us to work on that. Okay, and also they can function playing different roles at the same time. So when I work on sometimes when I work in a recipient, could be they're lying down, and then when I walk, maybe one of them could be standing projected in the head area. They could be standing on the left hand side or on the feet area. So I might just walk into them, and then they might start to speak through me and then do the energy work. So they could be vibrationally present, but that's not as often as when they are quantumly connected or entangled with us. It's more effective for them to work in that way. Otherwise, we do need to be in a particular state of frequency in order for them to be present to work on the person. Yeah, most of the time we don't need that level of intensity for healing. How long do we need to prepare for the Arcturian quantum session? Now you spend 2 hours for preparing, but sometimes I feel sleepy. What do you mean by preparing here? Do you mean like you're working with the symbol already? This could be a attendee that has already attended the course. So if you're referring to personal preparation, it's always good to, yes, prepare yourself, be a coherent state, your heart brain alignment, raise your light quotient before you start. Don't wait till your recipient comes and then you do all the preparation work. Your preparation work should be something that is prior to you starting the session itself, okay? So then we have another question. How do we know if we are a star being? We are all star beings to a certain degree, because we are we have been through all these various worlds, so to speak. So being a star being is not new to us, but specifically prior to this particular life itself, most of the time we could be human beings again and again and again. And then as star beings wise, it's not uncommon. They are possible. But if you come to know about that, it should come to you naturally. Because if we try to find out if we are from the stars or not, through asking, we may not get the right answer. And then because it doesn't resonate with us, and then we ask the second person, a third person, a fourth person, until we get an answer that we're satisfied with, and that's not the right way to do it. So if you know you are, you will have the experience of remembrance, in my opinion, and then you will understand why you're here. Yeah. Another question is, the course is through a group or self-paced. It's not self-paced per se. You need to do it and complete it within a time frame. In total, 6 weeks. The first 3 weeks is the mind disciplinary training, followed by the next 3 weeks is with the Arcturians main course itself. So in total is 6 weeks, and you'll be going through the course together with a group of students also who are online, going through and then posting their experiences and all. So you can ask questions and get in touch and connect with everyone. Let's see, what other questions you have? You used to connect with those light beings, just like what you showed us, to communicate often. I think they said Arcturian, but I don't do it anymore. Do you think I should connect again? Not that you should or not, but if you feel inclined, if you feel resonating to, sure. Connecting with the Arcturians is, the connection itself is like learning to ride a bicycle. And once you know how to do it, the connection is always there. Even you say that, okay, I don't want to connect with you anymore, and then 2 days later, okay, I want to connect with you again. They're fine with it. They don't take it personally to say, oh, you don't want me to be friends with you anymore. That's perfectly fine too. But certain period, you may personally find it a bit more challenging to connect for various reasons. Maybe one of it could be your astrological alignment is hindering you. There's some what we call cosmic interferences. So you may find it a bit more challenging to raise your consciousness. So some frequencies is hindering you. Some karmic energy is hitting on you. So you kind of need to do prayers and clearing and stuff like that. And other times could be you have graduated, for that time of learning with this group of beings, and maybe you now move on to a different group of teachers or guides that will come and teach you something else. But you never lose the actual connection. You can always connect with them. In fact, the more clear you are and the more still you are, you're able to have a wider range of connections. But the important part is discernment, like know what you're connecting, who you're connecting with, and what's happening and stuff like that. Because it's very easy to get trapped in this very sparkly, shiny, bright, colorful worlds. Yeah, and we can get lost in it, and not everything is real. So we need to be careful with that. Okay. There's another question. Do Arcturians also teach sacred knowledge? I was curious when you mentioned the word Trinity. Has it anything to do with sacred knowledge? Trinity, why? Trinity is because of APS. APS stands for Arcturus, Pleiades, and Sirius. So these three groups of star beings, I work with them closely, and they teach very deep things. The Arcturians, they teach about light bodies, chakras, DNA, upgrading, spiritual ascension related aspect. Pleiadians, they focus on the biological upgrades. They focus on the heart, the love aspect. The Sirians, they work on higher knowledge with, like I said, like they more kind of like a PhD kind of concept. where you go into deeper learnings, the living light libraries. You study about the cosmos and the roles of the various planets. So you're not so much doing for healing, you're really doing service work for the cosmos and the planets and magnetic lines between planets and galaxies and all. So your work is cosmic level, it's not human level. But together as a team, APS, they work as a team, so they call the Trinity Stars. So I hope that is helpful. Yes, maybe just one more questions from here. What do we have? The Arcturians course is separate away from the alchemy course. They are different courses. Yes, they are different. What else? The differences between star beings with ascended masters, Buddha and Jesus, they are different. They are different. We have what we call maybe complete awakening and complete enlightenment. We can relate that to maybe Buddha, Jesus, ascended masters, but star beings are not complete enlightened yet. They still have preferences, they still vibrate, and they still have karma, meaning that the potential of them reincarnating is still there. That's why there are star beings that reincarnate or incarnate into the human world and become human beings again. So these are common. But like I said, the star beings are very close to us. You can see them as celestial beings. So they can help us in our way, especially when we're in a realm of healing. And stillness is something very, very challenging to do, to achieve, or having no thoughts is difficult. We still have a lot of desires, a lot of wants and don'ts. Then healing modalities and techniques is an entry point, I feel, for people into spiritual path, for self-healing and also working with others. Because when you help others, you're also gaining positive energies. You're also, people also blessing you in that sense. It's also very, very good for you and your family when you receive appreciation and blessing from others. So when you help other people in a session and all, you're also gaining positive energy, and you're also kind of like closing off old energies. So sometimes when you work on clients, you see repeated patterns that has happened to you personally and is appearing in the session. And because you've gone through them, you could help them. So it's a form of service also. It can help you to develop compassion. That too is a very powerful and necessary for our own spiritual awakening, and for some people enlightenment. Okay, Lemurian Arcturian techniques are similar. I don't know about Lemurian techniques, so I can't comment on that. Rainbow healing from Lemuria, I don't know that either, because I don't know specifically these modalities, so I can't comment on it, unfortunately. But the Arcturian technique do have a rainbow-like healing, and that can be used separately away from the symbol, or it can be used as a complementary together with the symbol at the same time. Okay, is there any question that you feel that would be good for me to have I answered as many as before? The attunement is not face-to-face. I have recorded this attunement specifically that you can receive them. And the good thing is that you're able to listen to this attunement several times. Not many times a day, please, because it will be too much. Yeah. So like once a day or 3 times a week, even once a week or 3 times a week, twice a week is more than enough. More doesn't mean it's better. Okay. More doesn't mean it's better. So because you need to drink lots of water, right? You need minerals, and then the transmission will activate and it will create a lot of electrical pulses through your system. So if you don't have minerals, you will feel dry, and then your body heats up, you get migraine and stuff like that. So we need to be careful with that. Yeah. So not too often. Yeah, but you'll receive the attunement as a recording in there, and it's designed for that purpose itself. Okay. So that, and then yeah, any questions that you feel that I would be beneficial for me to answer, if any?
Maybe we can let them know when we will start the course for enrollment and when the actual course will start.
Actually, good question. Yeah. The course will start in February, on the 19th of February. So it's still a bit of time for you to prepare yourself. The reason why we set it at that time is because I feel the energy alignment, and through Maria and Salea together, this timing itself, the energy is really wonderful in 2024. So we can step into this positive energy and ride this wave in next year. And because it requires you to be committed, especially in the meditation of the 3 weeks. So it gives you time to allocate attention to it. I would say every day you need maybe about no more than an hour. In terms of meditation, for the exercise, the mind disciplinary training, you need probably just an hour to do the exercises and then to submit them online. And every day you accumulate, and then you will start to see a pattern of what you have written, and then we'll comment. I will comment on it and let you know how to improve on it, and or what's actually happening, or some changes in your consciousness, things like that. So commitment is necessary, is important. If you are unable to commit to it, then it's not time for you yet. Because if you can't complete your 21 days, then you can't proceed on to the main course itself. The main course requires that foundation for you to benefit from it. Otherwise, it's really pointless. You'll find challenging later on. This is 100% online class. Yeah, it's 100% online class. And this moment, I don't have a 21-day course separately. It works as a whole, because I do need to check on the posting every day, continuing into the main course. So we don't have the course, the preparatory 1 days separately. So not now. Yeah, maybe one day in the future. Yeah. So that's in February the 19th. We'll start all the way to sometime March, I think late March. We will start registration in a couple of days. On the 5th of November, we open registration on the 5th of November. So then you can have a look at the course content again, and then if it resonates with you, you can think about it, and then next year we'll start in February. Yeah. So depending on the flow, of course, we'll adjust as it goes, and from now till then there's still things that I'll be shifting within the course. So yeah, so lots of exciting upgrades. Yes. Okay. You only work with the Arcturians in level 2. I just wanna repeat that again. You only connect with the Arcturians in level 2, not level 1. Level 1, we work with the symbols, we work with the rainbow light healing, we work with various techniques to upgrade ourselves, but you can actually use the Arcturians symbols for healing already. It should be necessary, and you have the videos to show you how to do it in person. So it'll be a session demonstration is included in there too. You have manuals to support you, is written by the Arcturians, and together with the Arcturians, we've written that together. If you're connected with the Arcturians before, there's another attendee that's asking this question. In level 2, when you connect to the Arcturians again, most likely you will connect back to the same team. They don't change the team. Just as I said, they all look the same, and collectively they are the same. So they don't change the team necessarily, unless they have already moved on, meaning that they already passed on. They passed their age, and then they have gone to a different world or stuff like that. Then you may be assigned with a new team, but that's level 2 for us to explore, because it's a lot more complex. Level 2 attunement for the team itself, I will be doing live. It won't be recorded. I need to do this transmission live. So then we can check on the energy signature and things like that, and support you as we go along. Okay. So yes, I hope to run level 2 in 2024, and then we'll see the progress from level 1. I'm sure, everyone will have a great time together in that sense. Okay, anything else I should follow up before I do the transmissions work? No. Okay, so why don't we, yes? No? Okay. So I'm going to go into a transmission work now. I invite all of you. If this, again, the Arcturians will only connect with you, and the energy work will only be possible if you give permission to it. So in your heart, if you open your heart and welcome this transmission, it will support you in your own personal ways. I don't know what will come through, but I believe it will bring blessing to all of you. So in your heart, you can give permission, open up, and let's receive. So I invite all of you to close your eyes, and because as you close your eyes, you can bring your attention now inwards to your body, to your energy body, your chakras. You're all being called to connect collectively in this space. It is not our first time connecting. We could be star families, we could be connected in different timelines, different past lives. And we're now gathered here to share this beautiful, loving space. We recognize our resonance and alignment with our Star Nation families, the beings of love and light. And our intention is to open our hearts to receive that which is aligned to our personal potential, and to open ourselves up to our highest possibility of what could come. Now call forth to the Arcturians, coming into space to connect with all of us, to raise our light quotient to 100% body vibrations and frequency. And if you could place your palms facing up at all times. We'll begin by going through a series of sound, and this is a series of light language, and it will be tuning into the Arcturian frequency for this transmission. So it'll take a few moments for that tuning to take place. So as you breathe into your inner being, allow yourself to become brighter and brighter through the first person view, becoming brighter and brighter, lighter and lighter. Wherever you are, whichever time that you are listening or watching this, may be surrounded by light. Mukusha labarakis, ala kushi de Zakaria, Sala kusha garabakasa al akishta. Elabarakiz grabakalaso barakush alakasia alaka. Eda the kusha gazagarabakosta. Eda legigazagarabakalisia alakia. More de. Very pleased to be here to connect with all of you. Makushi gazakalisia ala kushi de Barazakalabakia. More de Zagarabakalisia. In its resonance and its connection, we ask that your alignment with your source now open forth through the heavens and the earth. Alavigishigazakai, Elabalaklizagabaraklasia, Mikoshikazagabarakalesakadjakasta, Adikajigazigabarakalesakalesia, Nikajigazigabaraklasia. We understand your intentions and your requests. Alabaragizigabarakas, Elabakijigazagakalasa, Edikazagarasakarasaka. This is kind of like a tuning of your energy body so that your channels of flow, your chi, your vital energy, can facilitate this transmission. We wish to remind you of this connection. Some of the work will be done on the crown chakra too. This is like helping you to tune your antenna, to strengthen your antenna. to pick up energy. This will be beneficial, especially in this couple of weeks, as the cosmos open up to receive more high frequencies that are causing through the stargates. Mote chicken about the color, lakata, a lady take a chicken as a color, resigabakis, Moji is a color, secretaria, Motet is a baracala, a leclis is a baracosh, maybe the color is a baracasti, a la costa. A zig, a leg is a baracalasia, make a secretarial. This is supporting all of us who are going through a lot of adjustments, a lot of transformations right now. It could be due to your busy schedule, so a lot of things are piling up, a lot of things are intertwining in between. A lot of plans that you have in your mind is occupying your energy. So this is kind of like a recalibration, a kind of like adjustment, so that things operate more smoothly for you in general. So you can bring your hands, if you like, both your hands towards on your chest area, with your palms facing and touching to your chest, your heart center. Also for your third eye, it's like clearing a lot of thoughts in the mind. It's almost like all these various images living rent-free in your mind, they say. It's consuming your mental energy too. So with your permission, you can intend to release all these unnecessary thoughts that are just purely perhaps for entertainment, and to let them go and let them return back to source energy. So you can see yourself kind of like letting go the strings of holding on to them, so that they can fly away from you, further and further away from you, or they transform into a different element like smoke, or puff away like air, or like a vacuum, a vortex vacuum that is sucking away and taking away all these unnecessary thoughts. At the same time, they're also proposing to work on the throat center and the lungs for people who have phlegm, coughing. So you can open up your palms to receive in that way for this. And lastly, is in this couple of years, it's quite a bit of accelerated karmic releasing and clearing. So you could be finding yourself having more injuries, like maybe you kick yourself, or you've fallen down, or you have pain, or you needed surgery, unexpected physical challenges. This is to smoothen out this karmic energy. This is true grace and ease. So we need to pray for this. We need to ask for support from divine, and the Arcturians facilitate that. So we ask for support in soothing and clearing and these negative or karmic influences that are upon our lives. in our health, or maybe if you don't have, maybe for your loved ones. That could have been generating a bit of worry, concern, fear, perhaps. So rising above uncertainty. We ask for healing in this aspect. You've been informed, being told that you are not alone. They know and understand what you're going through, your concerns and worries, and they would like you to know that they share this feeling that you have, and they're here to support. Though they don't feel the negative emotions as we do, but they stand at a vibrational position that welcomes us into our well-being. And lastly, it's like a little bonus, I call it, because we have been losing energy, been through a lot of distractions, a lot of things happening, and a lot of things captivate our attention or our desires. So we feel like we want to do this, want to go there, and there's many things that are pulling us everywhere. So this is about regaining our powers back into the present moment, and to form this very beautiful sphere of light that surrounds us, this golden sphere of light that surrounds us. We wish to say to you that your inner being, your source, your heart is always guiding you. We ask that you take time to spend in silence with yourself, to listen to the voice of your inner being. They are the light that guides you in your path. No matter what is happening, do not have fear in you. Rather step into your own powers, into your strength, in order to recognize that you are source energy and beyond. And through that, your intention and contribution to the positive energy for the collective consciousness will be amplified through the collective field. The work that you're doing, the blessing that you're offering, and support that you're giving to others are priceless. Therefore, it is important that you also take time to nurture yourself, to strike this balance, to build your own strength. We are delighted for this connection, and we are deeply appreciative for your alignment with us. In time, we shall connect again. We invite everyone to say this together. E tetekia. E tetekia. E tetekia. We shall connect again. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. I give thanks to this beautiful connection and transmissions that we receive from the Arcturians. If you have water with you, I suggest you to have some water. This will help to process the alignment, the energies that you received, and to further integrate the energy itself. Okay, so I hope you have really enjoyed this time together. Is there anything else that any of you would like to share with the group here? You can type in and tell me your, like, if you have a bit of time, you can type and share with me how you felt and what you experienced. It'll be very interesting. Yeah. How far after the level 2 will be available? I don't know, really. I'm sorry. Just like when I run sacred tours, I always need to check in and ask when is the good time to do that. Yeah, but I definitely will not want to hold on, for too long. But I feel it's important for everybody to practice and not just go from one level to another, but practice and apply what you've learned so that you can really witness the amazing transformations and results that you have on yourself and on others, people that you love, and help them. I feel this is wonderful, and a lot of people really need that right now. A lot of people need a lot of support, a lot of encouragement, and sometimes words just not enough. We in silence we send this blessing and through space time. Prayers are powerful, mantras are powerful, but like many modalities, we do need to open up certain circuits of our body in order for certain abilities to run through. Otherwise, it's just textbook magician. We can read about it, but when we try, we don't have powers. Nothing comes out from our hands. So we need practice. Yeah, for sure. Okay. Thank you so much for setting your messages here. Feel tingling sensations. Yeah, Myra, what's your experience? Would like to share something?
My experience?
Yeah.
Yeah, my whole body got really cold, and I felt a lot of tingling sensations in my hands. And I could visualize a golden bubble surrounding us.
Lovely. Salea, you have something to share?
Yeah, just like Myra, I feel my body is cold, and the Arcturians is asking me to take more rest, like what you said, to balance during this time as well. And interesting message for me too, that I've been working with them, or rather have already known their work through you many years before. But they were saying that at this stage, I probably will have a different experience working with them with a greater stillness and also being, more evolved. So with a more evolved consciousness, we'll experience them probably in a very different way. I really enjoy it. That was
Wonderful.
nice.
Yes, it was nice. I mean, yeah, I didn't know what was supposed to come. I feel like this is what everyone here, your hearts and your intentions has been, intending and asking. So thank you so much, all of you, for being so open and sharing your heart and your intentions for this to come. It's a co-creation. Working with the Arcturians, the co-creation, working with ourselves, the co-creation. Yeah. I continue to share with the Arcturians technique because it's like I said, it's very practical, is easy to use. Yeah, and I hope to continue for a bit more, and many other exciting things to share in the future too. So we will put this up for you all to watch again, and you can listen to this transmission again, no problem at all. Just bear in mind to keep yourself hydrated. Usually working with the Arcturians, you may feel dry on your lips. It's common, but if you don't, it doesn't mean you're not getting anything. You may. Oh, there's one person that say is yawning. Yes, yawning is a form of integration. It's a form of integration, yawning. Sometimes you may feel not cold, but maybe heat instead, because the body is clearing up the stuck energy. So the energy is moving through your meridians. So that's also a good sign. If you see any visions or anything, if it's not as significant, you don't need to specifically hold on to them or pay attention too much. It's just be in the receiving side, with positive thoughts and feelings. Each time you listen to this recording, you may receive something different, even though it's the same recording, because you keep changing, you keep shifting. And therefore you open up new layers for the sounds to go deeper, and also certain sounds within the transmission to resonate into certain aspect of your energy field. So that's also very exciting to be interesting to get to know. What else you guys will have received later on. All right. So thank you all. Thank you. The end, a titikia. A titikia is like at the end of a sentence with a full stop. So that's the full stop. It's an energy code by the Arcturians to seal the work. Alikias, hello, and Atitikia is a full stop. In other words, so I hope that it makes sense. Yeah. So thank you all, and thank you for taking all this time. And we've exceeded long after, so I appreciate you staying with us for so long. Look forward to connect with you all again, and we'll keep you updated what's going to happen, and hear from you all soon. Everybody will say bye bye. Bye bye. Thank you.